Now, in Britain, we're very keen on comparing ourselves to our cousins in America or to our cuddly Scandinavian neighbours. But what about Hungary? Depending on who you speak to, Hungary is either at war with the European Union or an example to be followed for the rest of us in Western Europe. In our latest spat between Budapest and the EU, which we've observed from here in Westminster, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has warned that if Ukraine becomes an EU member state, there will be no EU funds for Hungary. Well, to find out more about that and many other issues regarding migration and family, I'm delighted to be joined now by Viktor Orbán's political director, Balázs Orbán, no relation, I should add.
Good evening.
Balázs,
hello.
Lots of people in London, lots of people in Westminster, absolutely fascinated, firstly, by the visible tension between Hungary and the European Union, particularly over the issue of migration and borders. Could you just explain to our viewers what's at the root of that tension and what Hungary is trying to achieve by adopting, let's say, a more conservative stance in the European Union?
Good evening. The problem is, I think, very simple. The European Union many times operates as a liberal empire, who wants to impose its views on the member states. And this is not how things should be done. We Hungarians, we don't think that we know the answers to all questions, but we firmly believe in nation states and we don't want mass immigration. So we have a policy which is working, how to keep illegal migrants out. We have zero illegal migrants in the country. And we don't want other countries to follow our approach. We understand there are different views, but we will not accept that the European Union wants to impose its open border policy on us. And what is happening now is that we have to pay €1 million fine per day because we don't let the migrants in, and we are, as they call, we are violating EU law. I think this is unacceptable. Some of our mutual friends are saying that it's the best investment you can have because integrating those illegal migrants would cost even more. But, you know, this is not the type of business you are waiting for.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private internet access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C-18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private internet access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
So just to be clear, the European Union is fining Hungary €1 million every day for refusing to go along with its migration policy, which I think will be of interest to Brits who, of course, voted to leave the European Union because they felt that the European Union was not really open to compromise.
Since you left, the European Union became harder.
Has become a more tougher, authoritarian organisation, you might say.
Unfortunately, yes. They are creating crises and they grab more power to try to solve it, which ends up in a disaster.
And does that tension extend to the war in Ukraine?
I think so. Of course, 3 years ago, when the war started, my prime minister said clearly, "We know what happened. We know that Russia violated international law, and Ukraine has every right to defend itself. But the question is where we are heading. What will be the end game?" And he was saying that it's obvious that there will be no solution on the battleground. So the sooner we get back to the diplomatic track, it could be better for Ukraine and definitely better for Europe. And our approach was completely rejected. They wanted to silence us. And what happened? We are here after 3 years. The West lost this war. The United States of America is going away. And now we have a massive problem how to finance and how to help Ukraine. And honestly, Europe, and I think UK and I think Hungary cannot afford it.
Absolutely. The other thing that has got a lot of interest here in the UK is Hungary's family policy. A lot of people seeing initiatives, tax changes that perhaps a lot of Conservatives here in Britain would like to see repeated here in the UK. At the same time, people will say Hungary is still struggling to turn around the collapsing birth rate in its country. I mean, here, by the end of this century, the birth rate will be 1.3. The replacement level is 2.1. We are nowhere near where we need to be. But is there any evidence from Hungary that you have found the way forward that might be missing here in Britain?
Well, I think if you want to save your own nation, you need people. And you need children. It's so simple. And immigration cannot be a solution because it destroys the nation or it creates a different society. So you need to have a supportive system towards the families. You don't have to force people. But if there are people who want to get married and want to have children, then the state should be responsible of helping them to achieve these goals. And we introduced almost certain measures, and now we have the new measure which says that if you have 2 children and you are a mother of 2, you don't have to pay any income tax for your entire life.
No income tax for mothers who have 2 or more children.
Yes,
right,
exactly.
Okay, which is pretty radical.
It's radical, but I think if you want to offer some help to the mothers, then this is the way how to do it.
Okay, Michael Walker, an initial reaction: Hungary leading the way on family policy.
I don't mind the family policy. I think that's. I like the idea of ending income tax for women who've had 2 kids. I think that makes sense.
You're in a good mood tonight, Michael.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, because I didn't know we'd be on, I haven't sort of done much reading up on Hungary. My understanding was that most of the criticisms about your government come when it comes to sort of that free press and sort of allies of Viktor Orbán buying up, especially sort of big liberal newspapers. And so that there are many people on the liberal side of politics who think that their voices have been suppressed in Hungary via those means, by sort of buying up opposition media establishment. As I said, I'm not an expert.
Give right of reply.
But isn't it the same criticism which are going against Trump and Farage and all these right-wing people? So this is exactly what is done by the liberals in every case, that they try to portray conservative governments as autocrats.
But you did buy up the newspapers, right? Or his friends did buy up those liberal newspapers.
I would say if you come to Hungary and follow the press and follow the public debate, I think it's more open than here in the UK or other Western European countries, because you can say freely what you want. If you have a conservative view, they will not go against you. If you have a liberal view, you can also say it. They will not go against you. So I think the media landscape is, I would say, quite free in Hungary.
Balázs, can I just, very briefly, because we're coming to the end, can I ask you a question? You're coming to the UK, you're in London. What do you think when you look at the UK from Hungary's perspective?
Well, a couple of years ago, when I came and talked to some conservative politicians, thinkers, I honestly didn't find too much in common, as it was for me like we are living in a different reality. I think now things changed. The conservatives are thinking in a very similar way than the Hungarian conservatives, and there is a growing front in US, in UK, and in continental Europe, which is about introducing a new kind of right-wing policies, which should be about how to protect our nations.
Okay, while conservatism ascendant. Keep watching this space. Thank you to Balázs Orbán for joining. Of course, thank you to Michael Walker and Poppy Kober. Now,